Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the soliamechling show. I know this one's probably being thrown at you a little bit just because of all the craziness in my life recently, but I'm going to scale it back so that we can have a great episode every Wednesday. But today I thought we would talk about two things, which are the No Kings protest and the government shutdown. What is going on with all of those? Why is it important? Why are we in a government shutdown? And all of the things. So if you didn't know, we were in a government shutdown, and I believe this happened in September. But basically, the Democrats shut down the government, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about why it happened. And yeah, it's kind of annoying when the government shutdown happens. So currently it's entering day 22, which is absolutely wild. And they shut down the government also when Trump was in office yet again. And basically the reason why they shut down the government was because they wanted to give and shell out a lot of money to corporations and things that obviously Republicans did not want to. And so they shut down the government because of that. And to me, the Democrats shutting down the government over something as minor as this is absolutely absurd to me. It's very childish in a way, and what they're proposing to give the money to is absolutely absurd. I would definitely recommend you looking into that. But basically they want a short-term funding goal, and they felt like they want more power in the government, and they felt like they weren't achieving that because, yeah, that's that. But basically, because of the government shutdown, there are hundreds of thousands of federal workers on furlough or unemployment temporarily. What furloughed is, meaning they're not getting paid, but they still have to work. So that's people in in the military. That's people in national parks. That's park rangers. That's I don't think police officers are like government funded. I think that's like state and local. But everything that you can think of that is state funded, or not state funded, that is government funded, is being affected by this. And then also, healthcare, food stamps, any sort of that, courts, inspections, all of that are being delayed or halted, which is not great for the American society and the American people. It's never good to be in a government shutdown. We need to try to come together as America and be able to fight this together and be able to approach political discussions without shutting down the government, because no political party gets anywhere with a government shutdown. Public opinion is divided because a lot of people think that it's like both parties are to blame for this, that Republicans are to blame or that Democrats are to blame, but Republicans didn't shut down the government. Ultimately, it was the Democrats that shut down the government and demanded these absolutely insane demands. Let me just look them up really quick because they're absolutely insane. So basically, a lot of the government shut down. So I'm looking up on the White House right now. But a lot of also the Democrats are blaming Trump for this and saying that this is why the government shutdown happened, which is absolutely absurd. But yeah. Anywho, I'm trying to find this. I probably should have found it before, but exactly. So they wanted $1.5 trillion in demands. That's absolutely insane. Our taxpayer money, and all of that money that should be going to either veterans or, low-income communities or things like that. No, they want to do all sorts of absolutely insane stuff with it, and they want to help people who are coming into this country illegally. They want to help, I believe something is in here about transgender things. I'm not entirely sure about why they want that $1.5 trillion, but that is absolutely wild. And yeah, polling shows that the majority of voters don't want to shut down. You obviously don't want to be in a government shutdown. And most of America does not realize that a government shutdown is occurring right now because it doesn't affect your day-to-day life. But it still affects other people's day-to-day lives, and it still is important to know what is going on in America if you're an American, which is why it's important that I feel like I'm talking about this. And it basically prolonged bills from getting passed. It basically just takes a long time. It basically stops a lot of things that were going on, and also airports delays that. It delays a lot of things, and it's just really annoying that we can't sit down and have a discussion about this. And it's also annoying that the Democrats would want to give $1.5 trillion, with a T, trillion dollars away from taxpayer money and into the hands of things that aren't really that important. So the government shutdown becomes a political battlefield. Who gets blamed, how long it lasts, what gets negotiated, and it's basically like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum until they get what they want, which is absolutely absurd, but here we are in the American political system, and this is what happens. They feel like it's not just a budget fight, but it's about healthcare policies and power dynamics in Congress and party identity. Okay. But it's just stupid. It's really, really stupid that they're doing this. Moving on, though, let's talk about the No King protests. Okay, I also talked a little bit about this on my Instagram, but what are the No King protests? What do they stand for? What is the messaging? And what is going on? Basically, all around America, and I believe this happened in the summer as well, were all of these protests of the No Kings, No Dictatorship, which is basically saying that Trump is an authoritarian figure who basically wants to be like a king. But I have great news for them because, back in the 1700s, we got rid of any king, and we set up rights, and we set up amendments, and we set up Congress, and we set up a president that is not an authoritarian figure. And even Donald Trump, who I don't agree with on every single political thing he does, is not an authoritarian figure. I would even say Joe Biden or some of the other radical liberals we've had in office were not authoritarian figures. Maybe they were leaning that way a little bit, but it never got to that extreme. And liberals are taking to marching in the street for this. Some are wearing handmaid's tales. Some are saying they will no longer have bodily autonomy. Some are saying just the most extreme things because they feel like government overreach is insane. And what I do want to say is government overreach can be insane, but that's not really why they're protesting. They're protesting because they feel like Donald Trump is a king and they don't want any king. Like I said, I have great news for you. We don't have a king, but the only king we have is Jesus Christ in America and all over the world. Jesus Christ is our king. There's no other king besides that. I will not bow to any other king. But also, Donald Trump isn't a king, and he's not trying to be. He's trying to be a strong leader, and I'm sorry if that rubs you the wrong way or affects you in the wrong way. But yeah. It's just a lot of stuff going on recently, a lot of crazy stuff that is absolutely insane, like the government shut down a No Kings protest, which is Democrats just lashing out at Republicans and Donald Trump yet again, which I'm sure will continue to happen until Donald Trump is out of office and we elect another Republican, hopefully. And yeah, so just know that with this government shutdown, it's very annoying. It takes a long time, and they want $1.5 trillion in demand for things that don't help you as a taxpayer, as a American citizen. It really doesn't. And then the No Kings protest, we got rid of kings a long time ago. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe because it is the little thing that you guys can do to me so I can continue making content for you guys.